Hey guys, it's Merlini with Mad Rares with Merlini for the December 13th Playday. One of the games has already finished. That is IG versus DT. Didn't really think it was worth betting on that one. 0.5 rares for 4. That is just absolutely terrible. So we'll be talking about some of the matches with better odds. First one that we have is Mineski versus Duskbin. Disclaimer, I have not watched that much Southeast Asian Dota or Eastern Dota in general, so take what I say with a grain of salt. If you've watched many of these matches, you're probably more informed than I am. First one, Mineski versus Duskbin. I personally seem to overrate Duskbin and Hans Reborn a little bit, and that has affected my betting results. But I still think Duskbin shouldn't be that much of an underdog here, especially in a best of one. I probably put at more 2-to-1 odds in favor of Mineski. I'll be betting on Duskbin here for pretty good value. Next one that we have is Speed versus DK. Seems like a pretty coin flippy matchup. Speed not as strong without Arteezy, but DK just not as strong since MLG. Speed has had pretty decent results yesterday or recently. They did beat out Titan, as did DK. I didn't watch either of those series, but they seem pretty evenly matched. I'll be riding the EE train, betting on Speed. Next one that we have is RRQ versus Lowyat. RRQ has played enough games, or I guess like 5 games or so, and I wouldn't say they're overrated or underrated at the moment. They just seem to be fairly consistently doing well. And Lowyat, they're very inconsistent as a team. I say odds are about right, the 69-31 area, and I'll be betting on RRQ on this one. I think they're just more consistent, and it's a safer bet. Next one that we have is Neon versus Mineski. And Neon's not that great of a team, but they're not like 4-to-1 odds bad. So I think that I'll either be placing 1 of 4, may depend on just how many rares I have left in my stash. And yeah, I think that this should be closer to like a 3-to-1, maybe even a little bit less, maybe like 2.8-to-1. So I think there's pretty good value in gambling on Neon in this one. Mineski's not the greatest team. And then we have Mineski versus Myth. These two teams played in a best of 3 a little less than 2 weeks ago, and it was just throw fest left and right. It could have gone either way, and I still think it's a rather coin flippy matchup. I think these teams are very evenly matched, and I'll just be betting on the underdog on this one, which will be Myth. And Mineski has had decent results lately. If they lose their first match, then odds may drop, or if they lose versus Neon, odds may drop, so keep that in mind. But as it stands right now, I'll be betting on Myth Trust. Next one that we have is Duskbin versus Lowyat. Duskbin will be playing earlier in the day, so make sure that you check the result on this if you are up and awake, and alter your bets accordingly to their performance. Lowyat and Myth seem fairly even matched, judging by the odds from yesterday, but I still think Duskbin is a pretty good team. I would say it's closer to 45-55, but again, I tend to overrate Duskbin, so take that with a grain of salt. Last 4 that we have are Star Ladder matches. Alliance versus 4 huge underdogs. But in general, Alliance games are a little bit more skewed. The odds are skewed towards Alliance, and it's a best of 1. So these teams do have a potential to upset them. If it were a best of 3, I probably wouldn't bet on the underdogs as much as I am going to today. But as it stands right now, I'll probably bet small on Next KZ and Mouse. They seem to have more potential than Empire, and I'll probably bet against Empire in the 3rd matchup. But that one will depend on how the Next KZ and Mouse matches go. Also, I won't bet on this last one. Don't know that much about Oscillator Gaming, and is the most skewed of the 4. So thank you guys for watching. Sorry for releasing this video a little bit late. I was having fun with the new patch, but best of luck to your rares.